Welcome to this short video about the vagus nerve and how you can reset the nerve so that you feel calmer and more at ease. So I've been studying the vagus nerve recently, and there's much more to learn, but in essence, it's a nerve that sends, for 80% of its time, signals from our body to our brain, with only a small amount of traffic, 20% of the time, going the other way from our brain to the nerves. And the word vagus in Latin means to wander, V-A-G-U-S, not Vegas as in Las Vegas. So V-A-G-U-S, and it means to wander. And it's a nerve which comes from the base of our brainstem and goes to primarily down our thoracic spine, but goes to our ears and our eyes and our nose and our throat and our larynx and our lungs and our diaphragm and our gut. So if you think about fight and flight and stress response and the sympathetic nervous system, it's those sensory organs, isn't it? What we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we feel in our throat, our breathing changes, our diaphragm changes, our digestion. It's those things that are feeding back to us all the time information about our environment, whether we're safe, whether we feel safe, whether there's a real threat, a perceived threat, it doesn't matter. But we have these bodily reactions all the time to things. And it's that which then sends messages to our brain, and our brain goes, hey up, let's switch on the sympathetic nervous system so that we are more alert and ready to fight, fly, or freeze in many people's cases. You can look into all of this, and you may well have come to this video via a short blog that I wrote, but there's masses to learn. It's really interesting. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube, but also you can look up Stephen Porges, his work on polyvagal theory. So there's three things I wanted to cover today, just three really simple exercises that will help you to reset your nervous system just in the moment, on a busy day, stressed walking down the street or driving in traffic, or you've come home from work and that you want to just kind of calm your system down. The first one, and a lot of the benefits of resetting our vagus nerve comes through our breathing and our breath, because the vagus nerve goes through the diaphragm and has direct connections with it. So you can imagine Pilates and yoga and any kind of meditation work with breath work have a huge impact on our vagus nerve and our ability to be more adaptable and to cope with stress in our lives. And that's really my goal for you, is that you feel able to adapt to what's going on around you. You don't have to control it, just adapt and be able to manage. So the first very, very simple thing to do is to breathe out for longer than you breathe in. And that's because the vagus nerve regulates our CO2 and oxygen in our body. So if we breathe in for a count of 4, for example, and then exhale for a count of 4, through the nose preferably, we're not shifting the CO2 out more than we're drawing the oxygen in. So if you can breathe in for a count of 4, and then take longer to breathe out, and then again, breathe in for 4. And breathe out for 5, 6, or 7. Then that rhythm, where you lengthen the exhalation calmly, it's not a forced explosive breath, will help to switch on the vagus nerve, send messages, I guess, from your diaphragm. This is my lay language, but send messages from your diaphragm and from your system that you can cope with the changes in CO2 and oxygen, that your diaphragm is calm and that your breathing is regulated, and will help you to feel better. Very simple technique. You could do that sitting in a meeting. You could do that when you're on the phone to somebody that's winding you up. Just take a longer breath out. How do we know that we've had some kind of shift? How do we know it's worked? Well, the research, the evidence seems to show that when we have calmed ourselves down, we tend to swallow or sigh or, do kind of like a bit of an exhale. Sometimes it's that we yawn or just feel calmer. Just, maybe feel a bit more grounded. So notice when you do that breathing in for 4, out for 5, 6, 7 counts, how you feel. Does it take 3 rounds of that, 4 rounds of that for you to feel, okay, I've landed? The second thing that's interesting, of course, is that we can move, it would appear some good exercises are to move your eyes and move your neck. Because again, if the vagus nerve is going to our eyes, our ears, and our neck, and picking up signals of threat or perceived threat, then those are going to be on high alert. And so one thing that you can do, which is quite interesting, a sort of a before and after test, if you like, as to whether or not you've reset your vagus nerve and feel calm, is if you sit up tall or stand up tall or however you are, then turn your face to the left. Notice how far it goes, how it feels, and then slowly turn it to the right. Notice any restrictions or sensations. Just do that one more time so you've got a bit of feedback, you've clocked it. You're kind of thinking, oh, that's interesting. So for me, I feel stiff on the left side. It feels like there's a blockage in the side of my neck here. That's tense. Right side, not too bad. Left side starts to get blocked much sooner. So that's just me today. Excuse me. So something that we can do to release that and reset the vagus nerve, and then we'll get feedback after whether it's changed for you, is to interlock your fingers. And you're going to lie down in a minute, hence my mat. But you're going to put your index fingers just on the base of your skull where it meets the soft bit of your flesh. So really just as you come down off the bone onto your neck where it's softer flesh. And we start by lying down. Really easy. Hands behind your head. If you need them propped up with a cushion, then you can. If your shoulders are tight or it's awkward. Fingers are just sort of loosely interlocked or side by side, but your index finger is just gently, it's not pressing, it's just kind of comforting the base of your skull. So that's where my finger is resting. I'm just aware of it. And then you're going to move your eyes, but not your head, and look to the right. So both eyes, it's so hard because I want to turn my head. Both eyes are just looking straight out to the right. It's a funny one because for me, I find it's easy to begin with. And then after a while, my eyes, the muscles in my eyes have to work quite hard to hold it here. You're not looking down, you're looking out to the side, or if anything, slightly up and to the side, but your eyes have gone all the way around to the right in their sockets. Notice any changes. Is your heart rate slowing down? Do you feel like sighing or yawning or swallowing? We've got a yawn, Camilla. Excuse me. There we go. When you feel that shift, and it might take you between 30 seconds or 60 seconds, something like that, then move your eyes over to the left side. Again, you haven't moved your head. You're just moving your eyes in their sockets. Your fingers are gently on the base of your skull near your neck, either side of the spine, resting your head in your hands. Now, I've run a 10-mile race this morning, so for me, this feels lovely just to lie down and actually take a moment to rest. So notice, are you wanting to yawn or swallow? Excuse me. This wasn't planned. So that for me, I've shifted. I've reset my vagus nerve. Something has changed. So you might need to stay for a little bit longer, but just that's what we do. So you bring your gaze back to the center. Goodness, my eyes have worked. Roll onto your side and push yourself over and up. So here we are in sitting again or standing again as you were before. And then let's retest. So turn your face around to the right. Feels like it's going a bit further, looks like it's going a bit further. Bring your face around to the left. I now have no squeezy pain in the left side. It still feels a bit restricted, but it's not stiff anymore. Let's do that one more time to check. Around to the other side. So this one's been a really good one to do in Pilates classes, and I've had some great feedback this week of people who have done that. We've laid on the floor and then they've retested afterwards and gone, oh my word, I'm like an owl. And their stiff neck has really released. So if you think when we take stress into our body, for me, it shows up usually lower back and neck, particularly on the left side. So Stephen Porges talks about our autonomic nervous system really being in charge of our system. And so if we can just downgrade it all, calm it all down, then we can help our body to heal and be well. So the third one that you can do, and again, I'm just showing you this because it's quite a good one to do in class or at home. Let's say you were watching Strictly or watching the telly or something. You could do this one, couldn't you? Propped up. So you're just going to lie on your tummy, propped up. If you feel that that's too acute for you, too high for you, then you can just move your hands a little bit further forwards. You haven't got to be particularly high for this to be of benefit. And there you are, propped like a sphinx with your belly on the floor. And you're going to turn your chin to the left and look over your left shoulder. Again, your eyes have moved in their sockets all the way around. I'm going to yawn again already. Goodness me. That was quick. So your eyes are all the way around in the socket. I'm going to stay here just for a few seconds longer so that you can enjoy it, even if my nervous system has already switched off. You're just looking over your shoulder, so you're getting the neck movement with the eye movement. You're getting the feedback from the neck and the eyes that this is an okay place to be. Interesting. Notice if you have any of the subtle shifts in your breathing, your heart rate. Do you feel calmer? What's happening with your swallowing or your yawning? And then you come back to the center. You might want to wiggle your head a little bit. And then we're going to turn and look over the right shoulder. Not forcing anything, just looking over your shoulder with your eyes all the way around to the right. So my eyes are right in the corners of my eyes, looking out to the right. So we're looking for ways to not just manage stress mentally, psychologically, but to respond to our body's many cries for help. You know, when you've got a stiff neck, when you've got an achy back, when your breathing feels rapid, when you can't quite breathe properly because it's all in your upper lung and you feel huffy, like that, you know, and you're breathing in a stressed way. That's just your body saying, hey, up, listen to me. I'm trying to tell you. And instead of thinking your way back to rest and calm, we can very easily do some little exercises like these to bring our body back to homeostasis. And then bring your head back to the center. And then when you're ready, push yourself up and take a moment to tune into how you feel. So there's many other kinds of exercises that you can do, things to do with your ears, other breathing exercises that we can do. But the three that we've covered are breathe in for 4, breathe out for longer, whether that's 5, 6, 7, just extend the exhalation. We've done the turning left and right, and then moving your eyes. So lying on your back, remember, with your fingers below your nape of your neck and the skull, the base of the skull. Look right for 30 to 60 seconds, look left, and then retest. And then that last one, propped up, looking over your shoulder, eyes all the way around. Again, hold it for maybe a minute, 30 to 60 seconds on each side. I hope you find those useful. I'd love to hear your feedback, what you think about the vagus nerve, what you've learned, and how you find those exercises. Please, please, please take them into your day-to-day life. Play with them, maybe teach them to your children, your grandchildren, your parents, and let's see if we can help the world feel more balanced and calm. Bye for now.